What up, YouTube? Billy the Kid here. I woke up this morning. I had a feeling, an undeniable feeling. I want to steal some shit.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, hell yeah. I tell my mind.
Just kidding. I'm going to teach you today two things. One, I'm going to teach you how to steal your own bike, key being your bike. If you run into a scenario where you don't have any keys. A great example is common here in Minnesota. You find what we call a barn burner. Sitting there, 10 years, guy's got a title. Looks like it's going to clean up really nice. He wants pennies on the dollar. And you're ready to make the deal, and all of a sudden he goes, oh, yeah, by the way, little detail, I got no keys for it, haven't had them in 10 years. I'm going to teach you how to get to your keys without changing out your whole ignition system and all that nonsense, without hiring a locksmith, in about 5 hours. Most of that time is just waiting for the locksmith to make the key. Second thing we're going to learn, ooh, fun, these. Most of you, from a distance, they just look like normal keys. I'm going to cut it over and do a disclaimer on these because just owning these in certain areas, especially if you look like you're up to no good, you will be charged heavily for owning these. So I'm going to kick it over to the disclaimer. But what these do is, in essence, they're called bump keys. You can get in your own house, keyword being your own house, in about 30 seconds. So we're going to learn a couple cool tricks today, things I've picked up along the way. First one, save you some money. Second one, you don't have to call your neighbor that you lent a key to or your wife. But let me kick over a disclaimer. It's important because, frankly, I don't want to get arrested after you get arrested for doing something stupid with these or something stupid with the other trick I'm going to teach you. So, don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you'd be back again, oh baby. Doing business things. I love you, Shimona. Just doing a little business things. Shit. Oh yeah, business things. The video content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. Harvard. I didn't go to Harvard. Billy the Kid does not make any representation or warranties with respect to accuracy, applicability, fitness, or completeness of said video content. Harvard? Fuck, I didn't go to Harvard. Billy the Kid does not warrant the performance, effectiveness, applicability of any of the following content in the video. Layman's terms. This video is for educational purposes only. Whatever you do with it after is up to you. This is just pure educational and informational. Now back to business. And don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you'll be back again, oh baby. Baby, 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 oh baby. I love you. All right, guys, so let's dive into bump keys and what exactly a bump key is. Again, please do your homework on these. The legality changes greatly from state to state. For example, Minnesota, it's legal to make and possess these. However, what makes them illegal is the intention to use them in any sort of illegal activity. Small caveat to that, unless you can prove a legitimate reason to have them, the jury is allowed to assume intent. So the reasons that I have them is I worked for a municipality that often required me where the locks were changed quite a bit and would require us to use these for entry, to regain our own property. Now, lock picking is a growing hobby, especially in the U.S. So I still own them for that, and again, educational purposes for this video. After watching this, I would highly recommend anyone change from standard house locks to they do make bump-free locks now. So do your homework. I don't want to see someone get pulled over wearing a helmet like this with these in your saddlebags doing 100 miles an hour. You will be arrested. I can almost guarantee it if they find these in your saddlebags. So I'm gonna first, to understand a bump key, it took a couple off the key ring here, is to just understand the general mechanics of a lock. A tumbler lock specifically. A tumbler lock has anywhere between 3 and 5 pins generally. And in essence, those pins hang down. When a key is inserted into the lock, those pins are raised up at various heights. Once they're all at their set heights, it allows you to turn the key. So a bump key is in essence a key that is cut where all the pins would be at manufacturer maximum. So it raises the pins all the way up. This is a pretty traditional house key. Most homes are 5 pins, you can tell, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me make sure I get some close-up shots. So this is the highest that the pins can go for this style lock. In essence, you stick the key into the lock, create a small amount of tension. So right now, you've stuck the key in about 95% of the way. So all the pins are still hanging down in between. Create a small amount of tension. Hit it with a blunt force object, a small mallet, back of a screwdriver. It shocks all those pins back up into place, but because of the torque you're putting on it, creates the right amount of friction, and they fall kind of back into their set heights, allowing you to turn it. It's been about 15 years since I've actually tried to use these, so I'm going to edit this video, make it all cool like I did it on the first try, but it is something that comes with practice. I can tell you the first time I ever did it, it took me 3 tries to open up a standard house. So again, from an education standpoint, might be, this day and age, might be a reasonable time to check your own locks. So I'm gonna go give this a couple shots, and we'll take it from there. Alright guys, so that is how a bump key works. Again, you stick it in. What you can't see, which is really tough to see on the video, is the key isn't fully inserted. That's the key. That's the key to the key. Pick a different word. So stick it is almost all the way. Tap it. Again, it's all about how much or how little of tension you put. So once you find that moment, you can just repeat. And it varies from lock to lock. And again, they make all sorts of keys, and they're specific to each type of lock. This is more of an industrial style lock. Ones that you might recognize from just your own home would be, again, another style house key. These are real traditional for internal keys. This is probably, actually you can see because it's worn, this is the one I almost primarily used before for interior locks. This is a male one. I would probably suggest actually just throwing that one away. I can't think of a possible legitimate reason to own that. You're not going to be practicing on mailboxes. But, so if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'd be happy to share it with you. Again, purely educational. Don't do anything stupid, because the penalties, they're high. I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you exactly what they are, but I can tell you it's at least a felony, and I believe, don't quote me, but it's got a minimum with it. So you'll do time. So don't do that. No one wants to do time. You know where you can't ride your bike? In jail. So don't get pulled over doing 100 on the highway with a full face mask, with a set of these in your saddlebags. You are looking for a not so good day. But hilarious with your friends. Also, again, educational, so that you look into your own security of your own house. Because after seeing that, if you didn't believe how easy it was before, you can see that now. So next on the agenda today, as I have my helmet cam strapped on, not to my helmet, to my head.